Barter, thank you. Welcome for coming back to the compound. You are one of the prolific. I don't even know what you are really, because you're not a.
Yeah.
It's two things with you. It's a brand as a person and a brand as a brand.
Yeah.
But and you're a voice. You know, you're Black History Year all year round.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I was like, I gotta do this and I know you don't do too many interviews. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But before we get into the life, the legacy, the story, what do you think about the compound when you come in this place as a creative?
I think the first time I told you, I'm not trying to leave. You know, I feel like, I'm super inspired, and I collect some like a lot of similar things that you do have in here. So like when I first came in here, it kind of felt like home to me. And I feel like, this is a place where if I lived in New York, I'd probably be here all the time just for creating purposes, inspiration, and just building awareness, to my goal and my mission for real. So
well, they closed WeWork down, so you know, you work here now.
For sure. I'm here. I'm here.
You could be you work. But so Compound Conversations, man, is just me sitting down with like good people, my friends, and it's like I don't really get into the hype moment or talk about like your latest collection. It's more about your journey, inspiration, and letting people understand and be able to look at you and listen to you and be like, wow, it's possible to do that, or I learned something from him. So let's just go back to the start, and I always start with where did home exist for you, and what is the family? Was it a mother? Was it the father?
For me, it's like I grew up with both parents. They were separated, but I was around both sides of my family. My mom lives in Far Rockaway, and my pops lived in Long Island, but they both was from Brooklyn. So it's like, when they was living in Brooklyn together, then I was there too. But when they split, it's like I was going to school in Far Rockaway first, then I went to Long Island, and that's where I graduated high school at. But throughout my whole life, I've been, on both sides. They both from Panama and grew up in Brooklyn. And, it's been like a good journey. But I really got inspired from like my dad he used to do art and play baseball. So when he used to draw in the crib, I used to be trying to draw what he drew. And that's how like my creative really started going, because it's like, he was the first person I see to even do something creative like that. And then like he also did clothes too for his job that he was working at. So he used to do custom jackets for the people at his job. But like I didn't really put two and two together until I got older. I was like, damn, like it's kind of crazy how like you kind of become the stuff that you're around, like slowly but surely. But it's like I've been around it my whole life, but I didn't really like take it in until later on. I'm like, damn, like I've been around it. I just never really took notice of it.
Never noticed it. So what was because creativity catches you at a young age, and like, even for me with the compound, it was cartoons and Star Wars, and like that's still been my blueprint to all the way now. For you, you said your father was an artist, and like was it something she's drawing, but what also caught your eye as a kid? Like, was it sports? Was it like movies? But what else caught?
I would say like a lot of movies for real. So I got inspiration from like the movies I was watching, but I feel like like outside of movies and just like seeing things, it was kind of like my friends, because like there was a point in time when like I moved to Long Island from Queens, and I didn't know nothing about fashion for real. I didn't know nothing about Polo or Bape or like Nike SB Dunks. I'm coming from Far Rockaway, wearing like a uniform to school, so it's like I didn't really know about fashion. So when I got to Long Island and started chilling with like my friend group that I chill with now, it's kind of like I got inspired from them for real, and just seeing them dress. But like I think like the inspirations, the early ones came from my friends, because I wasn't on social media like that. So it was like all watching movies. I was outside a lot, so it's like my friends is teaching me, showing me around, we going to the Jamaica Avenue on the dollar van to go get SB Dunks and stuff like that. And like
the dollar vans really never had good insurance.
I can tell.
Literally, when you said that, what a memory back. I remember I was on Merrick Boulevard. I was going to Green Acres Mall, and the dollar van hit another car.
Oh yeah.
And the dude just grabbed some paperwork out the window, grabbed the stickers out the window, and just ran out the joint.
Yeah.
And I said, yo, the dollar van never had insurance.
Nah, I think the most you can get is a free ride back. I'm gonna lie, that's it. That's all they give you.
But my fault, go ahead, man.
Nah, but yeah, I mean, that was a part of my journey. It's just traveling, seeing my friend group up, movies, and just I would say like I was always a person that was curious. So I feel like I was into a lot of stuff, like, you know, like toys, comics, movies, and shit like that. So, like, you know, when I'm not with my friends and I'm at home, that's what I'm doing. I'm just, like, on my, you know, like, nerd shit, chilling, studying.
chilling.
Yeah.
You know, I met you instantly, old soul.
Yeah.
You know, old soul, prolific. You know, some people have an old soul, but then some people have old souls that, like,
Yeah.
it feel like they would have been something if you was born at
Yeah.
a different time. Then, you know, when I seen the brand, I was like, wait, this is school almost. For
Yeah.
like, it's school in fashion. And, like, you know, one of the things, even with me, was like, I wanted to create something to this day still, and I think I did like 10% of a part of it.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, how can I create something, as the youth says, drip, but that's fashion?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, yo, and that was the whole science of me putting the 7 on the hat.
Yeah.
Because it represents God, 6 days work, 1 day rest. Your brand, when I seen it, I was like, somebody did it. You know, it's like, it has meaning. I can wear this fashion. It's not just because of February.
Yeah.
So when I look at you now, going back to your journey, where, not even with the brand, but where the sense of like being young, being black, African American, did that start at a young age for you, even before the brand though?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of seen it when, like, my dad, for example, too, is like, I didn't really see like racism and stuff like that throughout my life. I feel like I heard of it, but I never experienced it until I moved to Long Island.
Okay.
And then, like, it was snowing one day. You know, me being a kid, I'm just like on somebody's lawn walking, kicking the snow. He said the N-word to me. I went and told my dad. My dad pulled up. It was a whole movie and a thing, because I didn't really know what to say. I'm like, yo, I'm young. I'm like in 4th grade. So it's like, when this is happening to me, you know, I didn't really like take note of it, but I'm like, damn, like, I'm like, I know you're not supposed to be saying that to me. So I was like, let me just go to my crib and tell my pops. My pops pulled up. It was a whole thing. But long story short, I just feel like, you know, like as I got older, I got more knowledge of self, for real. Because, like, I faced a lot of, like, you know, obstacles that I had to go through that made me, like, have to, like, go back and do homework on myself and realize who I am as a black man in this world. Because I feel like as far as I get, still got to remember, it's like, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, so we always got to go through a hurdle or something to achieve something. So I feel like, you know, just doing that, and then, like, growing up with my aunt too as well. She was a principal my whole life, and she's a principal at the Malcolm X Bad School in Brooklyn.
Wow.
So, like, that's dope too. But I say that to say, like, a lot of things that inspired me for the brand, I didn't realize that it was right in front of me my whole life. So like, a lot of inspiration from, like, kids doing brands now is on social media, for example. It's like, you know, everything kind of looked the same, but
Yeah.
I think barriers look different because I didn't look where everybody was looking for inspiration. I looked at my household. I looked at, like, all my
people.
Yeah, like my baby pictures. I asked questions throughout my, you know, to my family about how, you know, how my grandparents was, etc. So I feel like that's the best thing that you could do, is really, like, just tap back into your family, and then also just travel, because traveling really gave me an upper edge, because I was seeing what nobody was seeing, and you can't see that in the book. So it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna use this for a reference, or I'm gonna put this a part of my brand, because I know that, like, you know, a lot of people don't get to see this, so
Yeah.
it's gonna feel kind of like new to anybody who's watching it, or, like, you know, looking at what I'm doing for real.
So, great. We got the family.
Yeah.
We got dad, artist.
Yeah.
Also doing clothes. We got aunt as a teacher.
Yeah.
We got the real life experience of racism.
Yeah.
So also growing up, of course, like you said, you went to high school, but uniform world.
Yeah.
But you grew up in an era of, like, a lot of brands probably was popping off, from, like,
Oh, hell
streetwear,
yeah.
Supreme, Hundreds, Diamond.
Yeah.
You know, just like Kith and
Yeah.
like, just what would, you know, a lot of people, we all want to do things, but, like, what was the moment for you? Was like, okay, I got all, now the canvas is laid out, like, wow, I realize I'm somebody. I went through this experience. My dad already gave me the tools, my aunt, and then traveling, my friends. But when did the light bulb go off? Like, you know what? I got to do a brand with the knowledge that I have to share now.
Because I used to work in a clothing store in Long Island called High Volume Shop. So it's like, you know, a lot of people used to come to that clothing store in Long Island, And when I was working there was a lot of brands in there too. So it had like Diamond, SSUR, Acapulco Gold.
Wow.
Like all the brands.
So they
that
had
was
the
like
illest teddy bear. Like,
yeah.
I literally, that bear,
Yeah.
he was cooler than the Ralph bear. I know everybody gonna hate, but the Acapulco Gold bear, he was swagged out.
Yeah. I fuck with that brand heavy, like Russ, you know, so it's like, you know, like, there's a lot of different brands, but I say that to say is like, when I worked in that store, I used to help out with the buying, so I kind of seen all the brands coming in. You know, I seen like the wave, like I seen the wave from when, like, you know, stuff was hot, when stuff slowed down. But when I used to work in the store, everybody used to be like, yo, you need to start a brand. Like, you need to start a brand. I'm like, I don't even know how to start a brand. I know that you get the blanks and put the logo on it. So it's like, there's a guy named B-Hop who used to own the store, and he paid for my blanks. He spent like $500. He got me like my first 50 blanks. I put like a graphic on it, and then I started giving out my shirts for free. Like I probably sold like 10, and the rest I gave out for free. But from that moment, it kind of got me in. I'm like, damn, like forget work, because at that time I was working too, and then it's like I didn't want to do what I was doing for work. So it's like I wanted to just like, you know, make fashion and be in fashion. So I'm like, damn, like if I do this the right way, then I could end up, you know, having something special. But like for barriers, not to say it like in a non like a cocky way or anything, but it's like once I worked in the store and I seen people do it, I was like, I could do this. I just need the right resources, because like the people that own the store, they never really had a brand. I just need to connect with somebody that had a brand that could just give me like, you know, some game for real.
Yeah, put you up on it.
So like there was this guy named Joe Gotti. He used to print like shirts for like a brand called like Slow Bucks back in the days, and like in Queens. Yep. So I used to go see him in Queens and sit with him all day. He used to heat vinyl all my shirts. I used to make mad shirts, go there, sit with him for hours. He giving me game about like, you know, just like stocks, like about Pepsi stocks, Coca-Cola stocks, fashion. But like I say that like throughout my life, I say like there's always this one. It's like I always got an angel that's giving me game for real, and he's one of those people. Like you're one of those people, Bar. Like there's these people that's in my life that just like guide me in the right way. And even if you guys know or not, like I pick up on a lot of game and I just get inspired. So like, you know, when I talk to you guys, it's more like, you know, like I love talking, just getting knowledge, because like that just helps me, you know, navigate to where I got to be, like a compass in a way. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like I know that I'm in the right direction, and I know I'm heading to the right, you know, destination when I'm talking to you guys.
So
for real.
When I look at the brand, like your brand is it's a scary place as a black man to create a brand like that.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's like, and this is just me as a feeling. It's like, you know, because it's easy to say a lot of things, but it's we never hardly promote what you're promoting, what your brand, like Black excellence, the people you write, the messages you write. Yeah. When it's like, it's almost like you had a calling on your life making this brand, and like in the early stages, because of course it's like I gotta pick a font. Yeah. I gotta pick a logo. I need an image. You know what Pantone color chart I'm gonna start rocking with, but like when like, because even me with Compound, it's like, okay, we only have like to this date I had Compound, you know, since the late 90s. I still don't have a mark. Only got the word. Yeah. You know, and I believe in never rushing. Yeah. But looking at your brand, it was a pivotal point of you being a designer and then being like a teacher. Yeah. Like when did that come into play on like developing your brand? Like, you know what? I'm not just gonna be doing graphics. I'm like, cause I seen it was people that you put on shirts, but then it was words on the bottom of the shirt, quotes, paragraphs, and I was like, yo, these are like history pages and history books on a great thick hoodie. Yeah. Like when did that kick in for you?
That's really a good question too, and I feel like I would say like 2014, 15. This when I just moved to LA to even like pursue the brand full time. And like, you know, obviously LA is like a place where you could get everything done at. So I moved to LA, started there, but I feel like I've been reading a lot of books. Like, you know, I feel like I read like the Huey Newton book, the Malcolm X book. I read like a lot of like business books. So it's like when I do these hoodies, it's like I'm like a grandma making gumbo inside the kitchen. It's like I'm taking stuff from here. So like when I make the hoodies, it's like I get inspired obviously from the person. But when I actually do the design, for example, like I did like the Bobby Seale hoodie, it's like I didn't know until I actually started doing deep research that he worked on planes in the military. and then like he uses like he worked with a lot of metals, so it's like there's like a liquid metal font that says Barriers with the Bobby seal on it. And it's like whoever I do a hoodie on, I gotta add like hitting meaning to it.
So like
because like there's people that like the hoodies that dive deep, and sometimes like the hoodies that I make is reversible, but I don't say nothing until you get home, and then you take it inside out. So
it's like hitting the egg for you.
Exactly. If I want to do logos all over, I could do that easily, you know. But I just wanted to like, you know, that's not really my swag. Like I like wearing it, but it's like when I want to put something into the world, I want people to like appreciate it like it's a piece of art on your chest walking. So it's like same way how Basquiat, Warhol, all these people, they do their paintings and their canvases. It's like it's like they style is one way, but their art is one way. So it's like this is my art and that's how I want it to be projected. But my style is a little bit different than the actual art. So I feel like, you know, just finding a way to merge the both too. But I feel like, you know, throughout my life, it's like just reading and seeing things. Even like this album cover, for example, the Malcolm X one, it's like, I said I got the cassette tape. It's like when I got it, I scanned it into the computer. And then I didn't use the graphic yet, but like stuff like that, I might just scan it in and just put it into a folder and hold it for something later on because I don't know when I'm going to use it again. But it's just like, you know, just being creative and just making use of everything that you know, you come across with, you know, throughout my life and just designing, you know. But I would say books though, you know. I bought a lot of books for real, like a lot. So that's something that kind of keeps the brand going and kind of keeps it fresh. And I realized too in fashion, it's like we live in a world where everything's kind of rushed now, and I don't want to rush my designs or my brand or my story. So like, I got to figure out ways to compensate myself to keep it going, but not like do too much. And like, you know, because I don't, obviously like it started off as fashion, but as it grows, I don't want to just be a fashion brand. Like I want to be, you know, I want to have my nonprofit. I want to have a record label. I want to have a hotel. Like, you know, so these are things that I want to have under the brand that I could translate these stories to, that it doesn't necessarily have to be on a t-shirt for real. So I could do it in different ways that's kind of cooler and digestible to different markets, you know, especially people that like hospitality, you know, like there's ways to curate a room just like this where people could be in here, you know, and get inspired too. So
now the brand is born.
Yeah.
You are living in LA. You're balancing a lot. It's, you know, what I've noticed, you know, I'll say I look up to people not just because their size or what they've done, but like what they're doing.
Yeah.
And the balance of who you are and your brand has been equal. You know, like, and going through this, I mean, you live in like a lot of lanes like I do. Yeah. You live in fashion, you live in music, you live in culture, you live in sports. Yeah. How is that? You know, because what you putting on your shirts is almost what you live. Yeah. How has that been, like being able to? It's because it's like you're like an artist. You're putting a message out there. Yeah. But you live the same way in the world that we live in. Yeah. And like, how do you balance that for yourself?
Shit. I would say pray.
That's a fact.
I do therapy too, and I feel like, you know, just those are two things for real. But outside of that, you know, just I do have my daughter. She keeps me balanced, so I feel like that. But I feel like outside of those three things, just consistent work. Because I know, like, you know, like I have a lot of great people around me who's doing great things, and I see that they not stopping. So that kind of pushes me to keep going, in a sense. But I just feel like, you know, like I always said to myself, it's like, God forbid something happened to me, like I want my name and my brand to live forever. So I gotta I gotta do it for real, and make sure that I'm putting 110% because I don't know when my day is gonna come. But also, it's like I want this thing to be talked about like 100 years from now. So how do I do that? And it's like, you know, putting the groundwork in now, and and just staying busy, man. You know, like I feel like, you know, like Virgil always said that you should be working on like a lot of things at once. So it's like while I'm working on my design, I'm working on my nonprofit. While I'm doing that, I'm just planning my basketball camp. I'm working on some tour stuff. Maybe with like, you know, an artist that you guys know, like, you know, so it's like I'm trying to stay as busy as possible, and if I feel like I'm not busy, then I'm gonna pick up on something or try to create a moment with somebody or my brand to keep me kind of going. But Jay-Z got a line too. He said that like, yo, like he said that I could tell you what I did for 365 days. So I feel like when somebody talks to me, I gotta be able to tell them what I did every day. And I feel like since I've been running the brand, I could do that, and like I could backtrack to see what I did throughout the whole year and how I impacted people's lives and how I helped out. So I feel like, you know, that's a great thing. And, you know, just staying busy, man, for real. I feel like, you know, just reading, staying creative, staying around good energy, and just praying for real, because that's the most I could really do. And it's, you know, I feel like at this point, I think Bar told me too. He's like, yo, bro, like he's like, you like a vessel for real. So it's like, you know. So I feel like at this point, I'm just trying to channel the energy from the universe and just try to put that into art. And if I can't translate that art, collab with somebody that can and do it together. You know.
So even for me, right? One of the things I did an interview with Sway one time, and it was like, how do you stay at the level you at in all these different genres? And like, you know, for me it'd be music, sports, fashion, culture. And I was like, you know, I get blessed by a lot of OGs, young players, like, you know, even like how we've been talking about Kyrie and Jalen, like they're my young boys, but I want to make sure my peers look at everything I'm doing is not free, is legit. He's official. You have it on a double-edged sword when I look at you and your brand. Yeah. You have it with the living. Yeah. And then you have it with a lot of the dead. Yeah. And it's like, do you ever look at yourself that like you kind of check yourself on a standard that you have to live up to? Because like you can never get caught out there like, yo, that's the dude that make the Malcolm X shirts. But yo, he was lit at the Ibiza pool party doing fentanyl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, you know, for me, it's like I live by a way of like making sure that I'm on point for myself and punish myself if I'm off point. But when I look at you, I'm like, yo, this guy got all these OGs, young Gs, and all this history that he has to live up to. That's funny.
I think about that a lot too.
So what keeps that checklist for you? Like,
I feel like collaboration wise, it's like obviously there's a certain standard that has to be for the collaboration. And like, you know, what you accomplish. Not saying that I wouldn't collab with you, but it's like, you know, like it just got to be like iconic in a way, but also like, you know, people could see this and get inspired from it. And like, I do work with people who aren't as notable as the people on the shirts because I feel like, you know,
vision.
Yeah, I see the vision for them, but like, to the part you said with the Ibiza thing, it's like, you know, like I gotta have fun. You know, I'm still young, so I feel like, you know, like all of that is Black history. Like no matter how you say it, like even with the rap music and like the more conscious music, it's like sometimes it's rah shit and sometimes it's more conscious, but it's still Black history. So it's like I gotta partake in everything. If I like it, I'm gonna fuck with it, and you know, I'm gonna reach out and say how, you know, how much I do like the music and the art. But I would say, you know, in this world, man, I just try to like partake in what the energy feels good with. But I feel like I've done a great job so far, just putting my energy in the right place because I have like, you know. But most of the time too is that like if I work with somebody, they might come out of their world to jump into my world for a little bit. So it's like they might be like, if they like this, they might be like, all right, cool. Like I'm gonna be, you know, more militant and get down to the stuff. But I feel like, you know, it's just a compromise and just, you know, just doing what's right. But I feel like, you know, like you said with the number 7, it's like it's like, I feel like anybody who's in tune with themselves, you get a certain feeling. When something is not right, your body give you like a little kick. It's either you're going to follow it or not. But usually I just follow it for real, you know, and just make sure I'm doing the right thing. But I feel like, you know, I love to party though. I love traveling. I love having a good time. Like I would be crazy if I didn't say that. But I feel like, you know, I love it, you know.
Building a brand, it's like you've built a living school almost. Like you know, you're providing an education through fashion. Yeah. And going forward, you know, you've done some great collabs, you know, Fear of God. You know, wait, is there any more larges in this Malcolm X, Fear of God? Shouts out to Jerry Lorenzo too.
Nah, Jared, that was legendary, honestly.
That's my brother, man.
We're supposed to do a part 2. You know, Jerry's super busy and like obviously like I'm busy too as well with the brand. So it's like I know when the time is right, he's gonna like, you know, just lean on me and we're gonna do something together. But that one was legendary.
I need y'all to go find the large. If not, I'll pay to get it reprinted.
Crazy part is too, they at the Shabazz Center, so it's like I had to send Ball over there. So Ball went over there and he met with Ilyasa and they talked for a little bit, and then he ended up getting one of the shirts. So it's like when we did the collaboration, it's like we know we made an oath to just give everything back to the Shabazz Center. Yeah. So that was amazing. And then, you know, Jerry got awarded that night, Kyrie got awarded, Lauryn Hill got awarded. So beautiful. That was dope to even be in attendance to even see that. So it's like, you know,
perfectly transition into like I said, you're like a living school through fashion. Yeah. What are some of the highest realms of things that you want to see where barriers can come through on this I got to quote this, living education, like school education?
I feel like the school is tricky because like obviously like I need like, just to be transparent, it's like I need like the right team and the right infrastructure to do that.
To take it there.
But I feel like the right steps I could do is just like excelling in my nonprofit and killing that, and then showing and making that like a foundation to lead up to like a school or like a program, or even like, you know, like one of my goals is to like just partner with like a college and maybe have like a barriers program or something like that, where like kids that go to school for what, like, you know, like arts and stuff like that, barriers could be like a incubation program type thing. So like there's a guy in fashion, Walter Van, I'm not familiar with his last name, but he's also a professor, and he has a big fashion brand too. So it's like, outside of that, it's like I want to be a professor too in school. So it's like that's my long-term goal. It's like, you know, when I get a little bit older, it's like I want to be able to go to a college and teach a few times per month about like just running a brand and entrepreneurship and everything that I've been through. Because like I know that if I had somebody that I could talk to in school like that, that I can lean on and ask questions with,
It makes a difference.
It's lit. It's lit because I could just like, you know, be transparent and like I could get like real life feedback on top of what I'm doing in school. So if I could do that, you know, that's a big goal of mine. So that's something that, you know, I've been trying to like, that's why I'm doing the Fair Guide. That's why I'm doing my nonprofit. Because like when I go to a school and I show them my resume, I don't want them to be like, yo, I'm gonna call you back. I want the answer right there.
Nah,
like,
that's
I want it right there because it's like I'm doing a lot, and I feel like, you know, I want the track record to be like, you know, to reflect everything I'm doing. So yeah. So
you sit in a very interesting position. It's like, pause for the kids who want to play that, you know. Same in my world, like working with brands, like high-end brands. Even a black man with my name being free, that's a whole nother story. So, you know, you'll get called by Fortune 500 brands like the Levi's of the world, and they know what they're called. They know what they see already when they call you. And we know a lot of these brands, you know, they don't have like their connections to like black culture is one thing, but a connection to black culture that represents black history, black iconic figures too. How does that feel working with brands that support you as a person and then support you as a black man with the message that you have? And like, you know, a lot of people don't even they might get those opportunities, but they just doing that from a fashion standpoint. But you like, yo, this brand really want to rock with us, and I still get to put the message out there about my people and history. Like, that's a different level of accomplishment.
Honestly, it wasn't always like that. So I'm grateful that I could even do that, especially with like Converse, even putting like the Corey shell on top of my Converse. It's like, that was a big thing. And like just working with Levi's and just, you know, put my message out there, you know, it's like, I think times is changing. You know, obviously it's not like changing fully, but it's like slowly, like at least they're giving people, like, you know, they're giving brands the opportunity to just voice their message out through clothing. And I feel like that's an important thing. But like, I feel like going forward is like, I only want to align my brand with heritage brands, you know, that's been a part of my childhood, that's been a part for over like, you know, Levi's been around for years, since the 1800s. So it's like, those are brands that I want to collab with. And like, these are like family companies, and I want to make my brand a family company. So it's like, I want to just collab with these brands so I could just know how to, you know, like, you know, it's like a blueprint in a way. So it's like Hermes, these fashion houses in Europe, it's like
Louis Vuitton, they family brands.
So I was like, I want Barry's to be the same way. And I feel like a lot of African American companies, we don't focus on also too who comes after us, because it's like, we're not here forever. So it's like, how do you build your company up so like when you do pass away, that like, you know, somebody could come on board. And I feel like, you know, outside of fashion and business and all this stuff, I'm learning about just like how to keep my brand going when I'm gone, and like learning through like, there's a lady, I know it's a sidebar, but like I know there's a lady who does like my life insurance policy, and she told me that there's a policy that you could get with like, if something ever happened to you, you could get a policy that's just for your company, and it goes directly to your brand and is used to fund the brand and keep it going. So it's like, I know a lot of people don't know about that, but that's something that we should have, because like, you know, for example, even when Virgil passed, it's like, you know, he got they had somebody coming after him, but I feel like Off-White shouldn't be stopped. It should always keep going.
Oh yeah.
Always keep going, and like always like a different version or a different variation of it. So it's like when I get older, like I don't want it to die out. So my goal is to build it up now, build a solid foundation. So like when I do pass, it's like it's lit. And then like, you know, I have somebody in mind that I write down, like, yo, he's gonna hire this person, he gonna take over, you know, and vice versa. Whoever's in charge, they kind of got a feel of my energy and who I want to be there. So I feel like focusing on what's next is important too, and not just right now. So it's like, you know, investing in that moment.
So one thing, you know, we live in a generation of collaborations,
Yeah.
cosigns, litness, shock factor. I look at you as like I look at myself. I don't look at your success as a credit to like this person co-signs you, or you was a trust fund baby, or you know, you got it out the mud.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Totally, and with the knowledge of, you know, Black history, culture, Black excellence connected to it.
Yeah.
How hard is it to have what you created as almost a solo entity or who you are, but building a team in the world that we live in today?
I would say it's important, and I feel like, you know, even just moving by myself, I feel like I just read something like people that move by themselves or something like that, it's like they're just more like in tune. I don't know if it's probably just a meme or whatever, but I feel like I kind of like I'm not more in tune, but I just feel like, you know, like I don't want to have to double ask somebody to come with me to do something important. That's for the company. So it's like, you know, I'm by myself, I'm here, I'm pulling up, you know what I'm talking about? And, you know, it makes sense. It's aligning with everything I'm doing. And when I first started getting people on board for the brand, it started with two of my boys, Malik and Jeff, and they've been with me since the beginning. But everybody after that, it's been trial and error for real. And I feel like, you know, it's like you go through things with people, you know, good and bad, and it's like, you know, it's like the NBA. It's like business at the end of the day. It's like, you know, so it's like I kind of only want to hire great people. And now that the company is growing, like I only want to hire people or kids that's in school now. That's my goal now. So it's like I want to partner with like a university and just hire people directly from the school. So I know it's like, you know, like it's just a track record. I know they're young, they're fresh, and they're hungry. So it's like that's one of my goals for Barry's is like, you know, getting kids opportunities from school to come work with me. Because sometimes when I do find somebody that's outside of that, and I meet them, sometimes it don't always go as planned because they expect what I get, and it's like a more of like a control business thing. And sometimes that vibe is like, I'm at the point in my life where like if anything's kind of like throwing me off a little bit, I'm just gonna have to like nip it real quick because I feel like I know I've been through that already, and I'm not trying to go through it again. So like there's certain triggers where it's just like, you know, so it's like when I do pick somebody now, they have to go through like anybody else, like no matter how high, like it got to be like a little intern phase, because it's like I got to bait you out to see how good you are for the company, because like nowadays it's like the team is everything. The team is everything, because if I can't go somewhere, you're going to be like a reflection of me, and you're going to be there. So I got to make sure whoever I put on my staff could be a reflection of me on all fields, you know, just like the respect, the maturity, just everything, you know. So I'm still in that process now, and you know, I feel like thank God I have a great team now, and that's why things is going. I could be here, and the company could still be doing good in LA and running and shipping out orders and stuff like that, because I found, you know, the right people to come on board and just like navigate that process for me. But I feel like, you know, it's just a team is good in everything. Like good NBA championship is a good. Everybody got to play their role, and I feel like once you know that, I feel like you're good, and that's something that I always didn't. I think that's why like the brand's what it is, because before this I used to help a lot of people out, and I always played my role. I never like talked out. You know what I'm talking about? Like I know my. I know when.
So I gotta come off the bench. I'm good, but he made the shot.
Facts, and I feel like, you know, like I like, you know, like even when things is going, when things aren't going as planned, it's like I know where I'm going to be, and like I gotta realize that like this moment is not meant to last forever. It's just feeling right now, and I'm going to get over it, because a lot of stuff that we worry about, it don't really be as big as we think it is, you know. And I feel like there's a bigger mission, and you know, just as long as you think about what's coming after that, it's kind of like, you know, it makes the situation a little bit better.
So one of the things, man, for me at a young age, probably around your age, that like I felt like I was starting to make it was product placement. I was like, I remember like, you know, my first. It was a store in Philly, because I grew up in Philly half my life too, and I was doing product placement for the store called USA Boutique and Dr. Denim, and they were just like, yo, you know everybody in New York and Philly, and they used to give me like Echo, Helly Hansen, and like then I started seeing, the celebrities and Phillies and the Jazzy Jeffs and Cash Moneys, and even bringing to New York, giving it to people. But I'm such a fan of you and your brand because, like I said, drip really never has a positive message. It's not negative, but it's just like, this is a houndstooth hoodie. Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it's an elevated feeling, even for me, and I didn't place the product. When I look at your brand and I be like, oh shit, that's LeBron in the tunnel. He got the Nat Turner. Like, what is that feeling like for you? Because like I said, it's beyond elevated. It's like 3 parts. It's like, that's my brand. I designed that, but I didn't even know he rocked with
the brand.
Malcolm X. No, the person.
Yeah.
Your product is a different level.
Yeah.
Like somebody might like it, and then they look at a person like you said, like Bobby Seale or somebody, and like you like. So, what is that feeling like when because it's like a triple threat for you?
Yeah, I feel like low key when people buy the product, it's like they buying it to. I said this like I did an interview with Shopify, like when I did my pop up, but it's like when people buy the product, they buying it to like they want to achieve a certain aura. So like when they buy that Malcolm X, they probably been feeling like Malcolm X, and you know what I'm talking about. So like they buy this, they probably been feeling like that lately. So, like when people do wear it, it's like even when KD wore it, or when like Kyrie wear it, or Jaylen Brown's wearing it, it's like outside of them, if I see anybody else wearing it, it's kind of like I never even met them before. So it's kind of like dope to see what they like attract to. So it's like if I'm not giving it, it's kind of dope to see it. And recently, like. Not even recently, but throughout my whole time of doing Barry's, like a lot of people been buying it without even knowing who I am. So that just tells a bigger story of how like people attract to the brand. And then when they met me, it's like even deeper because like I'll be chill. I'm not doing too much, low key. So I feel like they fuck with me too. So I feel like when people attract to the brand, it's for different reasons. And like some people attract because like their parents had this record inside the crib, or like what I'm talking about. It's from different reasons. I hear a lot of different stories, but like most of it is because like they just it's like a moment in their childhood or their life where they seen something that they related to within this hoodie. And a lot of things is that when like kids buy the hoodies and they wear it at home, their parents start like the hoodies because it's a part of their journey too. So it's like it's kind of fire to see that Barracks is hitting all age groups. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's all ages, and I feel like it hits the older market because they went through it. It hits the younger market because it's hip, and they probably get into it. And then like the new kids or like the younger crowd that's younger than that, like between 16 and 18, they probably don't know about these heroes, but when they do wear it and they read about them, they get inspired and want to start rocking it. Because like there's a lot of kids who aren't familiar with these black heroes, and they get confused between the names. So it's like this is a way for you to know your history, get fly, and get some knowledge. And if you don't know it, it's like somebody asking you about 5%ers in the street. They're gonna check you, and then they're gonna have to just talk about who's in your shirt. And I've seen it happen in person before. So it's like, people like, yo, you don't know who that's in your shirt. It's like, I like the brand. I was like, oh, you gotta know who that is, because like somebody's gonna ask you, because obviously like these people is powerful people, and like they left like a big mark on this earth. So it's like you wearing like it's like the shirt is really powers for real. And like I could see this, I could see like the brand 20 years from now being in vintage shops going for thousands of dollars. And, what I'm talking about, just because of what like what I built so far. So I feel like it's just it's history for real, man. But like I'm inspired by a lot of different people, a lot of different like artwork. So it's like like Barracks is just a merger of all of that put together.
So my final question, and it took a long time to get through the ending question, through the whole interview, because the ending question always got to be a great one. When I look at you, I look at, like I said, a old soul in history.
Yeah.
And if you had to connect barriers to any specific time in you to a movement of like, what black culture went through in the past of history, and our Malcolms, our Martins, our Mandelas, like, what do you think the brand fits next to best?
Jazz.
Wow.
Jazz. For sure. Because I didn't really know a lot about jazz until I started reading. Obviously, I was reading a book, and then like I'm reading about Miles Davis, Duke Ellington, Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, and then it's like I feel like jazz is more comparable to right now, because even though like we face a lot of racism, there's a lot of they still fuck with us. So it's like they was getting hired to go to the jazz clubs, perform, do their thing,
Facts.
doing Renaissance shit. They getting fly. You know what I'm talking about? They making new music, making the swing. They doing a lot of different things. And I feel like if I could switch back the time, I would go back around that time. Cause I feel like I will fit in perfectly. And I feel like, you know, they doing a great job. They did a great job. And I feel like Barry's fits right in that moment where like, cause jazz made a big change in music. So I feel like when that came around, it's like Barry's will fit right there in that moment. For real, for real. I feel like it'll be perfect. Cause any other spot is kind of like, it wouldn't be too right.
Yeah,
I feel like jazz, or like I would say like when like Marcus Garvey was doing his thing. I feel like that's a big movement, you know.
So it's either left hand is Marcus Garvey, right hand is Jazz.
Yeah. Cause I fuck with Marcus Garvey, and like my logo is inspired by his company, like the Black Star Line. So it's like he did a movement, like his was different. With no social media, he had followers all over the world, and I feel like, you know, that led to Malcolm X and all these people doing their thing. So it's like, you know, Marcus Garvey, he was really the one for real. So it's like,
it's a fact. I mean, I think it's a Black Star Film Festival this weekend in Philadelphia.
Yeah. I
went to Ghana, and Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa had a Black Star Festival.
Yeah.
I mean, Talib and Mos is Black Star.
Yeah.
It's like so many cultural things has came off the Marcus Garvey blueprint, which is amazing, man.
No social media. It's insane. So like, you know, like, that's what I was saying. It's like, you got somebody like him traveling the world, leaving this mark, teaching people. It's like, how could I not go hard, you know? So it's like, I definitely, you know, want to be somebody that's like, you know, when people look at these great people, I'm in my own right, you know.
It's a fact.
On that list.
Well, thank you, my brother. This is great. Wow, this is fire, bro.